Okay, this is the Integumentary System, Part 5. There's quite a bit to cover in this part, so I just want to get right to it. So we're taking a look at glands, first of which are going to be sweat glands, and there are different types of sweat glands. Most prevent overheating of the body, and we're going to see that there are going to be some specialized ones that secrete wax and milk. So we have eccrine sweat glands. They're found in the palm, soles of the feet, and forehead. They can be found in other spots, but these are where they're the most concentrated. They are merocrine glands. So if you remember what merocrine glands do, they release their products via exocytosis. And it is almost entirely water. The function of these is thermoregulation. These are the sweat glands that their products, once it evaporates, help cool us. Okay, now we have apocrine sweat glands. They're found in the axillary and anogenital areas. I'm not going to get into apocrine, what they are, why there's been some reclassification of what apocrine is. I'm just going to kind of skip that part. It has the same basic components of sweat. There are some fatty substances and proteins, and when these fatty acids and proteins get oxidized, then it will start to smell. So normally when it is produced, it is odorless, but once it gets oxidized and broken down, that's when that scent comes into play. The precise function is unknown, but it is thought to be these glands that are involved with attracting mates, like pheromones, okay? It is thought to be involved that these are some sort of modified production of pheromones. I'm not going to test you on that, though. Okay, next we have ceruminous glands. These are modified apocrine glands. They secrete cerumen or wax, and in addition to the hairs found in that ear canal, block the entry of harmful agents. And mammary glands are also modified apocrine glands that secrete milk. We're going to discuss this in 169 once we go over the reproductive system, repro and development. That's when we will cover that. So mammary glands are part of the integumentary system. However, it just makes sense to cover it with those other chapters. Next we have are the sebaceous glands. These are simple glands. They are found all over the body, and they are holocrine glands. So simple, not branched, holocrine, right? Fragments of the cell break. So they secrete sebum or oil, and it has several functions. Softens and lubricates skin and hair, helps also slow water loss, and probably more importantly, how it acts as a bactericidal agent. Right? So those are going to be sebaceous glands. We can see problems with these sebaceous glands, like acne and blackheads. But these sebaceous glands also help protect the developing fetus when it's surrounded by amniotic fluid. So these sebaceous glands are very active in the fetus. So when delivery comes, it is very common to have these sebaceous glands still be overactive in infants, and that's called seborrhea or cradle cap in infants. Okay. All right, next we are going to be talking about hair. I am going to really kind of summarize. If we think about where hair is, then the functions, it can help detect insects on skin. For the head, it helps protect against physical trauma, heat loss, and sunlight, and shielding the eyes and filtration in the nose. For those of you that are potentially coming in contact with patients that have gone through some sort of chemo and radiation, a common complaint of patients, they didn't realize the importance of eyelashes until they start to lose them. Okay, so those are the overall functions. I'm really just going to focus on this one. Your textbook, it goes over a lot in terms of the structure of the hair and the hair follicle. I really don't want to spend a lot of time. And actually this one too, I'm really not going to even test you on this. I just left this here because it was in the PowerPoints that are on Blackboard. So here's really what I want to just focus on with this hair follicle. So we have this hair bulb, right? So it kind of expands, and then wrapped around it are going to be these nerve endings. So when the hair follicle bends, it stimulates these nerve endings, and that's how they will help us detect insects on skin or function just as overall touch receptors. The other part of the hair, you had to know this for the skin model, is that there are muscles attached called erector pili. Contraction causes those follicles to stand upright, and it's in response to cold temperatures and fear. And if we really think about it, how is this a response for us? How is a contraction of those erector pili and getting goosebumps supposed to help us with cold temperatures and fear? So if you think about it, it is more apparent in animals when they are completely covered with that hair. Having it stand up on end, one, it makes them look larger, so that helps with the fear part, and it also forms this insulating barrier. By having the hair stand up on end, you're going to have this warm air that is trapped closest to the body, and that's how it helps with the cold temperatures. Quickly, just to go over the different types of hair, you are responsible for this. We have vellus, which is pale and fine body hair. It's found in children and the adult female. If we're talking about eyebrows, axillary, pubic regions, those are going to be terminal hair. So those are the two major types of hair. And the term, and you guys probably already know this, but the term for hair loss is called alopecia, and that's in both sexes. So I just want to make sure that you know that term. So there's only one more unit left, and that is going to be talking about pathologies.